Hello, everybody. I'm Michael Matalavich, and welcome back to Casual Relief. If you're new here, please remember to hit that subscribe button down below. Today, we're going to be going over a few simple topics. One, it has finally happened. Mets fans rejoice. Steve Cohen is now, presumably, the owner of the New York Mets, a franchise that I clearly love. Why is this a big deal? If you don't know, Steve Cohen is a billionaire with a B, $14.6 of net worth. $14.6 billion of net worth. It's a lot of money, making him the second richest owner behind Steve Ballmer. I mean, this is huge news to Mets fans because not only is this guy wealthy, he's passionate. He grew up a Mets fan. He's a huge Met fan since a teenager. You can get that just if anyone read his press release, his statement on the passing of Tom Seaver. It's very clear how passionate he was. He talks about watching Tom Seaver as a teenager and what it meant to him. This is a guy that everyone's excited to have running our organization because he's a fan, he's passionate, and he has the money to go win that championship. He is sick of waiting. He has already said, I'm sick of waiting. I'm old enough. I want to see this team win. I'm willing to do whatever it takes. We have not had an owner like this in all three professional sports teams that kind of get lumped together, the Mets, the Jets, the Knicks, have not really had anyone like this. James Dolan's the closest person I can pick to that, and we all know how he does. So, with that being said, what changes do I think come to the Mets? Well, first of all, I think you see a heavy free agent plan. I think you're going to see them go after a lot of guys. JT Realmuto is already a guy that everyone is suspecting they're going to throw a bunch of money at. It's going to be interesting. We've seen this work with the Yankees, and we've seen it fail, most recently with Giancarlo Stanton. Just because the Mets are willing to spend money doesn't mean they will win, but it will be nice to have owners that are not so worried about a shoestring budget as the Wilpons were, especially after the Bernie Madoff incident where they did lose a significant amount of money. I think that needs to be addressed. The Wilpons struggled owning this team for a long time because of Bernie Madoff. But back to the positives. We have an owner who's passionate, we have an owner with money, and we have an owner who wants to win. Count them. Those are three reasons to be extremely excited if you're a Mets fan today. And I'm going to give you a few more because the Mets just went into Philadelphia and did the absolute most unthinkable thing I could ever have thought of. They took the series, keeping the playoff dream slightly alive. After dropping the first game 4-1, they didn't look great. I mean, you have I don't understand how they won these games. You have Lugo and DeGrom, who both work, like an inning and a half, 1.2 each or something like that, combined for like 12 hits. Lugo gave up 3 home runs in the first inning yesterday, and DeGrom gave up 4, I want to say, in the second, and then came out with a right hamstring spasm, which is lucky. We're very excited that that's all it is. It looks like he should be in line to finish his starts for the year, hopefully securing him a third Cy Young. If hopefully that those 2 innings don't hurt his ERA, his stats enough to pull him out of that race. That would be extremely unfortunate for the season he's been having. But the Mets don't win when he pitches 7-8 innings and only gives up 1 run. So how – I don't understand what this team did. It's amazing to me. They came back in both games with late-game heroics. 5-4 on Wednesday, the final. And then last night, putting up a 4 spot in the 9th to go up 10-6, and then Edwin Diaz on the 3rd day in a row just comes in and completes the save. I was extremely impressed with this team. Early on, I was pulling my hair out, but they fought, as Brandon Nimmo said. They fought. They had a choice to lay down or fight, and they chose to fight, and I love that about this team. We saw that last year. We see it again this year. But they got to improve in the beginning of games. If you want to get to the playoffs, you're going to play the Dodgers most likely. And with our pitching, you are not coming back against the Dodgers once you're down big. The Mets need to figure it out early. There have been mistakes. I mean, we have the worst average with runners on scoring position. It's horrible. We have one of the highest averages. We have 4 players with extremely high OBSs in Conforto, Dom Smith, Jeff McNeil, and yet we're struggling to win games. So that's something that I think situational hitting is something that needs to be emphasized with this coaching staff and this roster. But that being said, I'm extremely proud of the series they just played against the Phillies and looking ahead to the Braves, an extremely important series. Extremely important to get these wins. Now, the next series after that is the Rays, and the Rays just clinched their playoff spot. So the Mets this is the time where if the Mets want to make a run, there's 3 series left. I mean, if you want to make a run, this is the time. You have to. So we'll see what they do, and I don't want to get my hopes up. But we've seen them make runs before, so I'm not going to count them out yet. But even if they don't, we still got that new owner to look forward to. So Mets fans, I haven't been this positive in a very long time for us. It's Jet time, folks. That's right. The New York Jets. They are playing again this weekend. And am I going to watch? I am. Is it going to be as embarrassing as last week? Who knows? I really hope not. Because you know what? I love the Jets like I love the Mets. But Johnsons haven't sold the team yet, so I'm not as excited. Also, so many things to talk about with the Jets. We'll start off with this. I don't want to ridicule Christopher Johnson for his comments on Adam Gase being a brilliant offensive mind. Did he come out a little too strongly in support? I think so. But if he comes out in the opposite way, that is just that we get ridiculed. You can't have that. So I understand where he's coming from. But the offense has been dead last. It's been atrocious. 3rd and longs. And it's something that last week was embarrassing. And hopefully this week we see a new team, because otherwise I have no hope. With that being said, let's look ahead to this week's matchup. The New York Jets take on the San Francisco 49ers at 1 o'clock on Sunday. You might remember the San Francisco 49ers from last year's Super Bowl, where they lost to the Chiefs, an extremely close game, and arguably should have won the game depending on 1 or 2 throws. What am I expecting from this weekend? An ugly game, honestly. I don't see how the Jets can come in, well, not even come in, how the 49ers are going to come into the MetLife and not take the Jets seriously, because 49ers lost last week. They're hungry. They're pissed off. They let Kyler Murray beat them. So I don't see them dropping this game or taking it lightly. Now, injuries have plagued both teams. Good side for the Jets. Richard Sherman's out. So that's a huge help with our depleted wide receiver core. We have their starting center is out of the game for this week. Why is that a big deal? Because the person who lines up against him is the number 3 overall pick from last year, Quinnen Williams. This is the time for Quinnen Williams to show what he's made of. We picked you number 3 overall last year. You better step up playing against the backup. I don't expect this to be a pretty game. I expect the Jets to get blown out. I don't think they cover the spread. I don't think they win. I will be happy if I see Mekhi Becton do as well as he did last week against this offensive line. This defensive line. My apologies. The 49ers have one of the best, if not the best, defensive fronts in the game. So coming out last week as the highest offensive rated rookie tackle taken in the first round, out of those group of Andrew Thomas and Mekhi Becton and Tristan Wirfs. Those guys, I think it's impressive that he came out against a really good Bills defense and actually put up a great day. I would love to see that growth continue for him, taking on Bosa, possibly D Ford. I'm not sure if he's playing it or not. I know he's had some issues, but the Jets are depleted. Wide receiver Jameson Crowder has been ruled out for the game Sunday. So your starting wide receivers are Brashad Perriman, Chris Hogan, and Braxton Berrios. Cool. A lot of help for Sam Darnold. Running backs, Frank Gore, Balaj, who they just signed after Miami released him after he didn't pass his physical for a trade, and possibly LaMichael Pirine. So Jets fans, what we want to look for this game is improved offensive schemes and plays, improved offensive line communication and coverage, because there was too many times in the Bills game where they just looked confused at what the Bills were throwing at them. And 3, we need to see progress from Sam Darnold. He has regressed, unfortunately. I don't know who has allowed this to happen, but it's bad. When you have an opportunity to set your feet and throw, there is no reason, unless you're one of 3 players, that you should not take that opportunity. Sam didn't play well last week. He said all the right things, took the responsibility, but now it's time to shut up, and I want to see you go out there and make the effort and make the changes, because it's going to be a hard day for you, but give us some hope. My prediction for this game is going to be, I say the Jets score. I'll give them 10 points. I think they score 10 points. I don't think they score more than that. I think the San Francisco defense, even with the injuries, is just too good. And I don't think the Jets have an offensive identity as of right now. I see the 49ers putting up, let's say 27. I could see 27-10 being a realistic, end of the game. With the Jets defense being as good at run stopping as it is, I believe that we were second in the league last year. And with some of Jimmy G's inconsistencies that we've seen through the past year and last week, I don't think you're going to see a super explosive game, but I think you'll see a dominant game from the 49ers, which the Jets will never question the lead or question competition. But if we see improvement, I will be so happy for that. So, guys, please leave your comments below on your predictions for the game this weekend, Jets versus 49ers. Let me know what you guys think the score is, who's going to win, and what matchups you're most excited to see this week. Remember to hit that like button and subscribe so you can see my podcast next week. We're here every weekend, so please don't be afraid. Reach out to me on social media, Instagram and Twitter. Instagram, I post a little bit, but Twitter is really where you want to reach me for sports content. Follow me there at Big Mike with info. I'll put that in the description. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. This has been Casual Relief. I'm Michael Matalavage. Take care.